Honey, part two. This part two, fantastic. Mary read the out of Lisa Barlow, baby. And you know what I realized? Meredith and Lisa Barlow, y'all are the same person. Both delusional as hell.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right. Welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Okay. Honey, baby. I'm yelling, sorry. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6, reunion part 2. This might be one of the best part 2 reunions I've ever seen. So good. It was so good that this review is late on purpose because I've watched it twice already and I'm going to do my review. I'm going in sections. I don't want to miss nothing. Okay. Plus, Lisa Barlow and Meredith. I, I, y'all are off the chain. That's not a compliment. Okay, so we pick up right where we left off at the end with Angie and that scroll. So she pulls it out, she hands it to Andy, and she says that there was an account that's been trolling her for a while, and the phone number to the account is connected to Lisa Barlow's cell phone. So of course Lisa is deny, 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 deny. It's so what's so funny about Lisa Barlow though? You tell on yourself as soon as you start talking. You always say a little too much that lets everybody know that's listening. Oh, she did it. This bitch did that shit. So she's denying and trying to say there's a way for them to put her phone number in. They're all going back and forth. So Andy's like, what does this prove? What are you trying to say with this? So basically Angie's like, there's this account that's been following me for a while. They show the account, somebody named Candace Story, and she said this person basically writes shitty comments whenever she posts something and watches her Instagram stories or Facebook stories, whatever. I'm assuming she's talking about Instagram. But she said she knew it was Lisa one day because it was the day of Electra's birthday. And she saw that the Candace Story profile had been watching her story where they were celebrating her daughter's birthday. And she said within minutes, maybe I added the within minutes part because I'm a Gemini and we like to embellish bullshit. But don't judge us by Donald Trump though, because that nigga lies. Anyway, so she said Lisa Barlow like later basically does a post like happy birthday Electra, and she's like she didn't even know it was Electra's birthday, but I knew that she knew because of that account plus the whole information with the phone number. Lisa's just, that's not true. Ask Whitney, blah, blah, blah. So Andy's trying to take control of this situation because they're literally going back and forth. But here's what's killer to me. So at one point when they're arguing back and forth, uh, Lisa Barlow is like, she mentions this rolling thunder thing, and then Heather jumps in and was like, why are you bringing that up? And she was like, because she was implying that they still basically the rolling thunder whatever rock thing, they had cut part of it out on the subtitles. Basically there was a picture of Meredith when her and her husband were separated when they were dating other people, and there's a picture of her with some guy. It's a super old photo, and Lisa is like, she's basically saying to them like, why do you have the pictures in your phone still? So she turns to Meredith and she's like, it's a, this whole thing is a joke. And she's talking about with Angie, and then she's obviously trying to deflect. And Meredith, of course, Andy had no idea what they were talking about. Meredith's like, the rolling thunder thing is a picture of me and this guy that I dated while me and Seth were separated. It's really old. They're trying to do this whole gotcha moment. And Heather's like, we didn't bring it up. Your friend did. Your friend brought it up. So that's when Lisa Barlow was like, I was just bringing it up because why do you still have the photos? And she was like, it's really old. It's years old. But Lisa Barlow What I mean by her talking too much. So she's trying to tell Andy and Angie and everybody else that the whole thing is you're denying that you trolled Angie with this fake account, with this fake profile, but then you keep throwing in there that it's a joke. It's just a joke. But I thought you weren't a part of it. If you're not a part of it, then how is it a joke? Because if it's just a joke, then that would imply that you're doing it. This bitch is dumb as hell. I'm blown away that motherfuckers really be pressed over a Lisa Barlow would be in tears every time she was around me if she did some shit like that around me. Like, girl, I will read you down every time. I'm gonna remind you of who the fuck you are. No, I'm gonna remind you of the fuck you are not. Okay? Her insecurity in this part too, I was like, wow. Between her and Meredith, these two motherfuckers are the same person. Same motherfucker. So anyway, they're continuing to argue back and forth. Andy can't get them to be quiet. He gets up and actually leaves the reunion stage, and they're like, Andy, and he's like, I mean, like, because he's done the whole screaming thing. He did it in Miami. He's done it with them, and it doesn't work. The whole safe word Bezos, that didn't work. Um, and like I said in my other past reviews, Lisa Barlow has the mental capacity. She hasn't emotionally matured past ninth grade. She hasn't. So it's the I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? It's a joke. I don't know that. It's a joke. I don't know anything about that. It's a joke. Girl. So Andy, he comes back, obviously. They kind of hash it out. They go to lunch. So we follow the ladies backstage. They're eating lunch. And Heather and Whitney are in their green room and they're talking about Lisa and Meredith, and they both point out, I noticed it too. I noticed it last episode too. They point out that Meredith has not stood up or spoken up for Lisa Barlow yet. And it's true, she hasn't. And she's not going to. Not unless it directly involves her, because she don't give a damn like that. That's not a friendship. That's a fucking alliance. I'm sorry, my kitty is in heat. Sorry, Georgie. Sorry, audience. Come on, Georgia. So that we go over to Mary, Angie, and Bronwyn in their green room, and they're talking about how it's going. And Angie's like, Lisa's acting really weird so far, which she is. They were like, she goes, well, I knew she was gonna be mean. I was expecting that, but it's like she's holding back a little bit. I mean, she seems like she's gonna crash out and with lots of tears, because that's the first thing she does is start crying and shit. But it's funny how they all have noticed it. And then Bronwyn's like, she keeps telling us that we're talking over her when she's the one that's talking over us. That's Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow's whole existence on earth is to deflect her bullshit onto you. She's been like that for the past 6 seasons. It's nothing new. It's funny because this part 1 and part 2 it's the Lisa Barlow Meredith show. Well, they're in the hot seat completely. Okay, so we go into Mary's package. Mary's church renovated for 2 years, so they reopened. She had a grand reopening. They emphasized that Mary is kind of like they did in part 1, but even more in this one, how Mary is kind of she's not the glue, but she's definitely the voice of reason in the group. They show the scene with her and her son. Great scene. I love that she is sharing this journey with us, and it's not on no fugazi dumb shit. Like, it's like real. So they cut back to the package. She's crying, and he asks her why, and she's talking about her son. So Andy's like, how is he doing? He is incarcerated now. And she says, yes. So basically, Robert Jr., remember he was married to that girl, that chick. Anyway, I guess, I don't know if they're getting a divorce or they're gonna, but her family has a restraining order against him. And Mary said, my son seems to think that he needs to save her. She's like, he's having delusions. That's them fucking drugs. I'm telling you, it's them damn pills. And he went over there and broke in, and now he's in jail, and he's gonna be in there for a little bit of time. And I respect what she says. She's like, this might be the best thing for him, because I know that he's safe, and he can't get to he can't get access to drugs, Mary, or schmugs. We're not supposed to say that on the. I ain't bleeping it out. I just won't say the word again. But isn't that crazy? Why we got? That's a whole other video. But I like that I respect that about her. I like because I work at a car dealership. Addiction is no joke. I've seen it at every car dealership. Most sales jobs, addiction tends to be higher. The better the salesperson, usually the shittier they are and the bigger the addiction they have. Not all people, but from my experience, yes. So to see the level of addiction with her son, because her son is pretty bad. So I love that she's sharing this journey with us. Andy talks about the TLC documentary and referring to her church as a cult. She was just like, whatever. And he was like, how do you feel about how the fans are stood up for her? Um, it was interesting when she said, she goes, they've been saying that about our church since it opened. They said it about my grandmother. And she's like, and Andy goes, why do you think that stuck? This was interesting. She said, I don't know, maybe it's the policies of the church, the way we do things. Also, it's a Pentecostal church in Utah and it's a black church. You know what I find funny? That motherfuckers in Utah, Mormons, was calling another denomination a cult. Ain't that a bitch? I was like, they got a lot of motherfucking nerve. Okay, so briefly, we bring up Lisa and the bullshit with the Church of Satan. She only says shit to sound like she's cool. So basically, Andy's like, "You really donated to the Church of Satan?" And she's like, "Yeah." So Bronwyn jumps in and says, "There's actually two churches of Satan, the legitimate one, I guess, and then there's another one that's like a female empowerment organization, some shit like that. Strange name to use for it, but okay." So Lisa confirms that that's it. It was probably that one. Um, Whatever. So Andy goes, he's reading off his card and he's like, "So Mary, you said that Meredith never supports Lisa Barlow." And Meredith's like, "Yeah, I did say that." So that of course sparks a little bit of issue there. Meredith's like, "Yes, I do." And of course, everybody's like, "No, you don't." Um, so Mary starts bringing up, she's like, how could you support her after all the stuff that she said about you? And Lisa chimes in, and then her and Mary start going back and forth. And Mary's like, you called her a whore of New York. She slept with half New York. Like, what do you expect? So then Lisa's like, well, we got past that. And Meredith's like, we got past that. That was 2 years ago. I forgave her. So Andy jumped in because I'm with Andy on this. He was like, yeah, but it's hard. Like, it's hard to get past it. You called her a prostitution whore, slept with all of New York, half of New York City, called her family lame and posers, and they do stuff for the camera. Everything that you do, bitch. Literally everything that you do, you called your friend. But I think your friend and you are the same. So, of course, she tries to argue that instead of just taking fucking ownership. What you said was fucking horrible. It was horrible. And Andy points out that they forgave each other rather fast. Because let's keep it real. I don't think us, the audience, or them have gotten past that. Can you imagine if somebody said some shit like that about you on national television? Meredith, you crazy. Meredith, it lets me know she probably knows a little bit of your real business. And I'm starting to wonder, in that rant, what part of it was true? What part of it was true? I don't know. So Andy says, Lisa, Mary had your back. Did you know that? I knew that. I knew that Mary had my back. You did? I don't think you did. And it was funny. Mary's like, I don't think she did. She doesn't even know what's going on right now. Now, Mary was being funny, right? But she was like, and they were all kind of laughing because they were like, look at her. She was like, she doesn't even know what's going on. And on the other couch, Angie's like, she looks like a statue right now. And then Mary's like, he's probably gonna have to help. Okay, so I'm sorry, my kitty is really in heat. She's being loud. Come on, mommy. So this whole part I had to watch a few times. I had to go back and watch it real quick. So Lisa Barlow and Mary. So remember, Andy asked her about, did you know that Mary had your back, or stood up for you, whatever. So fucking Lisa it's just really weird listening to this. And, Mary, I'm very pragmatic and you should be very happy that I'm talking to you. Mary said, why would I be? I'm not happy about anything that you have to say to me. Mary lit her up. She's like, so Lisa, well, Mary just doesn't get past anything. Mary's like, I don't get past anything. You sat with Whitney and talked about my church being a cult. And then in the next season, brought that dude Cameron on against me. You don't get over anything. She said, that's your problem. You're negative. You talk about everybody. You talk about people into the press. You sat at BravoCon and talked about Bronwyn. You're negative. You live on the negative train and you are a very dark individual. Homegirl, listen, Lisa Barlow sat there and just blinked. She didn't argue with her. Did you notice that? You can't argue with a bitch when she's telling you the truth about yourself. She sat there and took it. And she's right. She's negative. You're like Tamra Judge. You're another failed Regina George. You want to be the baddest bitch so fucking bad. But you don't know the road to get to how to get to even get there. That'd make no sense. You don't even know how to be a bad bitch. You wouldn't know how to be on top if you fucking read a manual how to do it because you're an asshole. And you are so insecure and just it's really crazy. I'm 44. It is crazy to watch a bitch my age. I might be older than her, I don't know. But it's crazy to watch a bitch my age on national TV with the fucking emotional capacity of a ninth grader. Like, you have not matured past 17 years old, 15, 14, shit, 12. Like, it's crazy. Mary read her ass down and she couldn't do anything but sit there and just take it. And it's funny too, because like her and Meredith they just look pitiful sitting up there, so quote unquote taking up for each other. Because even before that, Meredith, I don't understand why you guys can't get past it. I don't hold grudges. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. You ain't stood up for your friend yet. Stop. Lisa Barlow. And it was funny. So as her and Mary are still arguing, Mary's like, you need to get help. I don't need any help. Mary's like, no, you do. You need to get some help. You need it bad. You do. You need to seek therapy. Because every time Lisa Barlow is on the screen, I look at her and I'm like, this motherfucker right here, she's a mess. Lisa Barlow raises my blood pressure. Anyway, so let's get to this plane. So the next package is Meredith in this plane incident with Brittany. They do the package, they come out. So of course Andy talks about this TikTok, which pretty much kicked off the nonsense of Brittany mentioning it, that Seth was allegedly cheating on Meredith. So Brittany's whole thing is, I brought it up because I was being shady. You guys do it to me. I didn't think it was. I'm sure she didn't think it was gonna go to the level that it went. But Meredith crashed out on your ass on a plane. And I'm so mad that nobody has footage of this shit. I just knew there would be footage at the reunion. We do have a part 3, though. We have a part 3. Come on now. Come on, Bravo gods. Let somebody be like, you know what? I filmed that shit and just see Meredith going off. But anyway, and we know she was going off. So Meredith, of course, is trying to downplay the TikTok thing as well, the TikTok video. And then at one point, Brittany, or no. So Andy brings up, he goes, well, on Watch What Happens Live the other night, you said that you had proof about the cheating. So of course we come back from commercial break. She doesn't have proof. She just says some shit to be shady. The other ladies kind of slightly defend her because they're like, marriage has been brought up a lot on the show. Bronwyn specifically. And she's like, you guys said all types of stuff about my husband and I didn't crash out. And she's right. She's like, I didn't bully anybody or anything. She didn't. But Meredith, who is Lisa Barlow part 2, just a different look, a different whatever, is deflecting. That's not true. I'm gonna call Seth. So she calls Seth. Let me tell you something. Seth, shut up. She calls Seth. Andy didn't want her to do it. She ends up FaceTiming him. At one point, they don't show him, but you can hear his voice. So she's mentioning what is said. Here's what's funny. He never denied it. He never said I didn't do it. Why would I? He does one of those, why would I, da 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 type of responses. You know what I mean? It's like I love watching body cam videos when they catch shoplifters. I have $500 in my purse. Why would I steal from you guys? Because you fucking did. That's why. I don't know if Seth is cheating on Meredith. I really don't know. I personally don't care. But this shit gets brought up a lot on this show. This show has been on for 6 seasons. It gets brought up every year. Every year. I'm just saying. But what's crazy is it was his response for me because he never said, no, that's not true. Or that, he never flat out denied it. He just, I don't know. I find Seth to be very corny. It's crazy because I watched that show with her and her son. That was actually a really good show. I thought she came off, this is cricket, came off better on that. Seth was annoying on that. I don't know. There's just something weird about him. Um, anyway, he gets off the phone. So they start talking more about Bronwyn and the sabotaging, Lisa Barlow, Brittany. They show an unseen footage of Lisa Barlow's narrow motherfucking behind trying to get Jared to bring up the fact that he ran into Todd, Bronwyn's soon to be ex-husband, in Vegas. And he was trying to get him to say where they wanted to go together. Probably probably a strip club or something kinky. And Jared, actually, no, he did say it. I can't remember. It was when they were in Dubai, not Vegas. Oh my God. I don't know why I said Vegas. Some naughty shit. And when they show, even on, it's funny, I don't care for Jared that much, but I'll give Jared this. You could tell he wasn't trying to say that shit on camera. And Lisa Barlow, well, no, come on, you can say it. You a evil ass fucking bitch. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, Lisa Barlow. You up there with Tamra Judge for me. Bitch, you ain't shit. Goofy fucking ass. Every 5 fucking minutes. I don't like her. That's a evil bitch. As soon as the shit gets too thick, she gets really nasty. And it's so funny. You really don't like, you are pressed over Bronwyn. You're pressed because y'all aren't friends anymore. You're pressed because Bronwyn stood up to your goofy fucking ass last season. And now you want to come for her and talk about, you ain't shit. I have to agree with Mary. You are a part of the negative train. You're dark and you need therapy. You clearly had a very troubled childhood because this person that we're seeing on display is a nasty, mean ass bitch. And you clearly haven't been punched fucking hard enough. Like, you clearly have never been in a fight because you need your ass wore the fuck out. The way you talk about these women, and here's the thing, they all drag each other, but the shit that she says is so horrible. Like, and then to have no accountability on top of it, like, that's a double win. I don't like shit like that. That's why I'm getting heated even talking about it. Like, fuck Lisa Barlow, for real. Fuck that hoe. Okay, so we call out Brittany, and when the little stuff that she said about Meredith. So when her and Bronwyn were shopping, she's in the dressing room talking about, every time I see Meredith, she seems like she's having seizures. So I guess some people are offended by that. This girl, Brittany, is dumber than a sack full of hammers. So Brittany is like, well, I said that because she's always spazzing out. And then she starts imitating her. Talking about, I was like, this bitch is crazy. And she's like, I know that was cringy, but I'm just trying to prove a point of what she's like every time she sees me. Now, yes, Meredith doesn't like you. And she really don't like you because you mentioned her husband. So she really got beef with you. But your explanation was wild. Also, I think Brittany should stop trying to cultivate anything with the Meredith or Elisa Barlow. Bitch, they don't like you. None of these women really like you. I sometimes don't understand why you're here. The reality is you are low-hanging fruit. You don't get treated well on the show. But again, comma, chameleon. You come and go. You're a shitty mother and you can't even rise to the occasion for your daughters. And you mad about this group of women? I said in the last review and I'll say it again. It is what it is, Brittany. It is what it is. So Andy asked the $1,000,000 question, why didn't anybody film the freak out on the plane? And it was interesting. So Heather's like, it's crazy because this morning Me and Whitney were in the dressing room talking about this, and Whitney said that her one regret is that she didn't take out her phone on the flight. And Heather said, I'm being honest. My first thought was, what kind of piece of shit people will we be to be filming somebody doing that? And of course, Lisa Barlow and Meredith's negative asses are like, she just called her cousin a piece of shit. And Whitney's like, it's like y'all are missing the. Them two. And I'm not even saying get off the show because they are entertaining, but like y'all ain't shit. It's gonna be interesting next season. Very interesting. And I really hope they don't change or add or take away anybody. Keep this group. It's a good group. But and please don't ever. I know Jen Shaw's never coming back. Don't have her guest star. Don't have her show up. I don't want to see that hoe. Not on my screen. I don't like her. That's the one housewife that I never need to see again on the show. Like ever. Anyway, so they talk about why they didn't film. So Heather's like, when this all first went down, we were all on. Heather's like, we were on your side. And she's like, I don't know what flipped. But she said at some point on the plane, that arguing and screaming, things changed. And I think it was because obviously how she was going at Brittany. You know, Brittany started crying. And let's be real, Meredith probably was horrible to her. That's why I really wish somebody had filmed it. And they all realized that Meredith was like straight bullying the chick. And here's the other thing too. I'm not going to fight somebody who's not going to fight me back. You know what I mean? Why would I argue with somebody who's not going to, who isn't going to have if we're not going to have a verbal intercourse, I can't, then I definitely should not be arguing with this person because I look like I'm bullying somebody or ganging up on them. In reality, what she probably was bullying her. Clearly, she was upset about what homegirl said about her husband. Georgie, that is so distracting, my friend. Oh my God, let me move this over. Georgie. Girl. But so they're like that no one recorded it. Maybe it was a good thing for Meredith because Meredith, you're not looking too good. But the issue is Heather's whole thing is you won't acknowledge anything that happened on that plane. You were downplaying what your behavior was. And they even said it. They were like, you only got mad because you were called out about your behavior. So Meredith is trying to defend herself, but she can't because all she's doing is you're just another Lisa Barlow. You're just deflecting in another way, in a more classier way, I guess. So so she's like, I can't argue with her. Whatever. She's been screeching at me all season. I don't know. I guess the word screeching must have hit a trigger for Heather. Heather was like, I screeched at you all season. She said, you know what? Fuck you. We're not friends anymore. This friendship is over with. And Meredith's just this it's interesting. This is a fractured group of ladies. I actually think they do care about each other. Even Lisa Barlow's goofy, slow ass. But it's like, what do you do when somebody won't take accountability, when they won't just own their part? And what's crazy is Meredith will only own her part on her terms. And to me, Meredith, that's an admittance that you did the shit. It's an admittance. You know you did this. You know you wild out on the plane. Why can't you just say that? You know what? I wore her ass out on the plane. I did. I was mad in the moment, and I apologize because I was upset with you. Don't bring up shit about my marriage. Don't talk about my marriage. Don't talk about my marriage. The problem is Brittany has been in this group for what, 2 seasons now? I feel like she's been in this group forever. But she's here again. She's not polarizing, but she definitely leaves an impression. And it's like, I just realized my light is crooked. Oh, this reunion child. So Andy says to the ladies, I want to ask Brittany and I want to ask Heather, I want to ask the ladies what they think happened on the plane. So Meredith's like, hold up. Before you do that, I just have a question. So Meredith, because she's Miss Deflection too, is like, so if all of this is happening the way you guys say it, then why didn't anybody get up and check on me as a friend or Brittany? And Angie's like, I checked on you. Heather's like, I checked on you outside of the plane. And then Andy's like, why didn't you guys maybe try to move seats? And she's like, and Brittany says apparently when the height of all of this was going on, the flight was in like descent, I guess was about to land. and everybody had to stay seated, but Meredith was still going off. At one point, Brittany said that maybe Meredith pulled her hair. She probably did by accident, getting out of the chair. You know, in an airplane, or she could have done it on purpose. Either way, we'll never know because she's not going to own it. But the whole thing is, they're her trying to deflect, like, well, if you guys are really my friend, why didn't you do this for me? If you're really Brittany's friend, then why did you do this for her? Like, girl. And they're all just looking at her like, what are you talking about? We all tried to chime in on the shit. You were out of fucking control. And I couldn't help but notice in this whole time, Lisa Barlow was silent. And this is the one that was planning during the lunch. You know, when we discussed the plane, you know, we have to back each other up. You didn't say a word, girl. I don't blame you though, because homegirl didn't really show up for you either. So anyway, Meredith goes, she goes, can we back up and I'll address all of that, but what I want to talk about the relationship with me and Brittany and why it got to the place that they're at. So basically, and it's a bunch of bullshit in my opinion. So Meredith apparently a few months before or whatever, or prior, they have a mutual nail. Is it a hairdresser or a nail technician? Long story short, the guy had made some anti-Semitic remarks, right? You know, Meredith is freshly Jewish now, so you know she a part of the coalition and gotta represent. I find it funny you didn't mention any of this shit this entire season or last year. I can't remember if this happened last year or not. It's probably happened before, but you didn't mention this shit all season until right now. Girl, bye. So basically, the guy made some anti-Semitic remarks, and I guess his agent, whatever, was like trying to save face because the guy had an actual business and it was flooded with reviews. And they called up Brittany and her boyfriend Jared and wanted them to write like a review, a glowing review saying that he's great, blah, 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 to counteract all the negative anti-Semitic stuff, you know, counterbalance all the negative reviews that the guy was getting. And apparently this dude has done beauty services for Brittany and Meredith. So Brittany and Jared wrote a really nice review. Meredith felt some type of way. So Brittany is listening to this. Brittany, I don't care for you like that, but I'll get with you on this. I was with her on this and I believe her. Brittany starts getting really upset. She's like, are you saying that I'm anti-Semitic? So Brittany explains her side. She didn't know that the dude had said anything. She got a call from them. Hey, can you help me out and write a really great review? She wrote a review. She had no idea what was going on. I feel like you could have done a little bit more investigation. She does say that. But she's like, you're trying to say that I'm anti-Semitic? So she starts really crying and getting really upset. Meredith's goofy ass is on the other fucking couch talking about, you know what? It was just not a tear in sight. Not a tear in sight. And I find it funny. You're so strong on the anti-Semitic shit, but you didn't mention this shit at all this season. I'm telling you, her and Lisa Barlow are the same fucking person. They're the same person. Meredith, I'm so disappointed in you. Like, you're one of my favorites on this show. Like, one of my absolute favorites, but girl, like, really? Really, Meredith? Brittany gets off, walks off, crying. She's pissed. She has every right to be. And in this day and age, being called anything that you're not, especially something big as a bigot or racist or anti-Semitic on a platform like this where you could lose your whole motherfucking livelihood, oh, I'd be pissed too. I would be pissed too. This is a long review. I'm sorry, you guys. This was a really great part two. Really good. Had my blood pressure going up. Lisa Barlow, you really, oh my God, girl. Please get the help that you need because you are nasty. You're very nasty. Anyway, guys, happy Friday. I'm here in Maryland. We're supposed to be getting this crazy ass storm this weekend, so hopefully I survive it. And when I mean that, like that there's not a lot of snow and ice. I'm from California. We don't dwell in those things. Southern Cali in the house. Anyway, have a great weekend, you guys. Stay hydrated, stay nice, stay warm. And I'm gonna go return these videotapes.